ship's not sinking. What's up, everybody? Good morning, Mad Hatter Nation. It is November, not October. Whew, it's November 7th, 2025, which, oh, by my metrics and all calculations means it's Friday. Oh, whoa, we made it to Friday. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think we were ever going to see this day. This seemed like an awfully long week. But we're here. We're here. You're here. Everybody's here. That's what we like. Today, we got a little bit of news and notes. First of all, big shout out to Brent DeWitt, fan of the show, longtime supporter of the show. His family was affected by Typhoon Kalmagi. I think that's how it's pronounced. Slammed into Vietnam. Earlier on yesterday, he noted that family members were affected and they hadn't been in contact. But I did see a comment this morning. Everyone's safe, right? Morning, Brent. Brent's down in the chat. Good morning, brother. Good to see you, dude. We have a poll up in the chat that ties into it. 1 like equals 1 T's and P's for our friends in the Philippines. You got 2 options, either thoughts and prayers or prayers and thoughts, you guys. Either way, it's absolutely devastating what went on down there. And, some people don't realize, like, here in North America, the what's the word I'm looking for? Meteorological safe house that we're kind of in. We're really protected from a lot of bizarre weather functions that a lot of the rest of the world kind of suffers from regularly. We don't see that so much over here. However, very interestingly enough, tornadoes are exclusively a North American phenomenon. So although we don't have some things, we have some things that are very American to us. Good morning. Road trip today with Hat and Boobs. Woohoo! That's right. My mom and Hat and Boobs are on their way to do a little Christmas shopping stuff. Going to do their annual thingamariggedy-doo thing up there. Hopefully they have a good time. And Hat and Boobs gets to show off her new car that we got her. So she gets to chauffeur and drive Miss Daisy, my mother, all around and about. So just a note, there have been quite a few deaths affiliated with this typhoon, as it not only went across the Philippines, but also then went into Vietnam as well. So just a tremendous amount of devastation. Just keep these people in your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It's a shitty shit box of a situation, but I am glad that the connection we have through Brent DeWitt, friend of the show, longtime subscriber, friend of the show, fan of the show, and that his family has been accounted for and are safe. So glad to hear that, brother. All safe, bracing for incoming super typhoon. Thank you. Right on. Yeah. Well, I don't know how to prepare for a typhoon, so batten down the hatches, brother. Dude, I have no idea, man. You're gonna need a bigger boat. I don't know. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but it's a shit box scenario. Let's kick it on over to NFL news, guys. We will be talking about NFL fans skewer Broncos Raiders game amidst listless offense performance. That was a Thursday night game, if ever there was a Thursday night game. And I didn't watch all of it because I had to work, but the little bits of it that I did see. Guys, is Bo Nix bad? Because, like, personally, considering he's a 900-year-old second-year quarterback, he spent the majority of his 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s playing college ball at every major program he could go to. And then he goes and is drafted by a head coach who not only has a Super Bowl ring, but also basically put together a Hall of Fame career for a quarterback that everyone said was never going to make it in the NFL. He was too short, too small, had that devastating shoulder injury. The Detroit Lions passed on Drew Brees coming to the Motor City, even though that's where he wanted to go, and you see what he was able to do in New Orleans with Sean Payton. So you put Bo Nix and Sean Payton together, and I came away from that game going, Bo Nix kind of sucks. And that's nothing against, I don't have anything against Bo Nix. It's just like, this guy kind of sucks. Is that really? I mean, It was like watching a fucking backup quarterback play. That's kind of what it felt like. Like, that's your franchise guy. Yeah, enjoy that, Denver. But we'll talk a little bit about the fans' response to the thrilling Thursday night game between the Las Vegas Brock Bowers and the Denver Nick Benitos. Then we will talk a little bit, not too much, because it is pretty sensitive. And YouTube doesn't like the topic of real things. They don't like it when you talk about real situations in the real world. They like to live in fantasy land. But it was reported Marshawn Kneeland dies in apparent self-deletion at 24 years old. So you guys recall we gave 3 possible outcomes. Personally, I figured that it was probably this. Historically, when agents and teams are requesting privacy and the team puts out a very generic, and it's not taking away from the message, but it's very generic legal, very safe, our thoughts and prayers. Typically, that means that there was something going on, a little less than ideal situations, and typically that is the self-deletion road that it goes down. It's just very sad, when you look at Marshawn Kneeland and what he was able to accomplish just this year after spending the majority, if not all of last year, on IR. Had a big game against Arizona. And must have been dealing with some demons, but we'll just kind of briefly poke around that. We're not really too hot and heavy about that topic around here. It's kind of sad and depressing. Then we will start talking about, well, it's what we're all getting ready for. You've seen them on the thumbnail. Boys and girls, Detroit Lions, Commanders injury report. Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker return to practice. That is huge. The Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders released their Week 10 Thursday injury report. We'll skim through here. Good old Eric Schlitt yesterday at almost 4 in the afternoon from Pride of Detroit. It's got an article for us that we'll skim through there. The Lions have added motivation for Week 10 game versus the Commanders after playoff loss. Is this game going to be a little bit more brutal for a very beaten down, very injured Washington Commanders team trying to get right after losing last week? Not only losing, but losing Jaden Daniels for what seems to be probably the duration of the season when his arm was snapped in half. The Detroit Lions also trying to get right, change some narratives around our offense, make a statement against everybody. And why not go and do it on the road against the team that bumped you out of the playoffs in the divisional matchup where you were the number 1 seed in the NFC, despite having 572 players on injured reserve last year. So I think there's a little bit of added motivation and a little bit of narrative change that needs to be conducted. And it's, why not? I'm here for it, and I'm here for the beatdown on the commies. And then we will end today by just kind of doing what we, I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I try so hard. I can't rise above it. Lions predicted to add a perfect 6'5" edge rusher. That's right. We're going to just peek around the corner and take a little look at this upcoming draft class and start getting a little, like, it's not out of necessity. It's just creature of habit. I had to do this for so long in my life that now I like looking ahead at the draft class, despite our team being poised to make a nice long Super Bowl run and beat the Buffalo Bills 59-0 in this year's Super Bowl. It is still not a bad thing to just start kind of eyeballing some of the talent so that you can kind of start to project so that we can, really have something to talk about during the slog of the offseason. So now that we've gone through all of the headlines and before we get into the show, could you guys do me a favor? Could you kindly walk on over to that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time we go live Monday through Friday, as well as every single Lions game. We have a pregame show. Think of it as a digital tailgate where I'm hanging out with each and every one of you, taking your chats, making bets, and generally just kind of chewing the fat for about an hour or so before the game. It's kind of cool, calm, collected, and casual, something we just kind of like to do with you guys. We will be here for Sunday morning, shortly after church, just like normal. Even though the Lions are playing in the afternoon game, still going to follow through with our normally scheduled programming on Sunday. If you could kindly like this video, turn that thumb into a spinning football and make it light up. And then the most important thing you can do, this is the best thing you can do, is share this video around with everyone you know. Get this out to every person you've ever met that has ever inclined you to believe that they think or enjoy football. Tell your kids, tell your dogs, tell your grandma, especially if she looks like Mary Berry. Let's go ahead and get after it, into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, shout out Brent DeWitt bringing this to our attention. Quick little shifting of gears. Antonio Brown. Well, he was picked up by U.S. Marshals in Dubai. He's going to be facing attempted murder charges. So, Antonio Brown. Oh, boy. What am I supposed to say? Right? They are who we thought they were. And you let them off the hook. You know, there is, of course, the thought exercise that could always be had of, well, what would his career have looked like if Vontaze Burfict didn't turn him into mashed potatoes in the middle of the field? You know what I'm saying? Like, could Antonio Brown, or was he just rocking with, 6 of 12 eggs already scrambled, and Vontaze Burfict just went ahead and finished off the rest of the dozen? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't know which countries don't have extradition. Well, and Brent DeWitt, let's be honest, I don't think AB knows how to spell the word extradition. How many times has he been arrested now? Not enough, but depends on what DA. Well, it depends on if he gets a Soros-funded DA, because if he ends up being extradited to a county that has a globalist-backed Soros-funded DA, you can expect a cashless bail for him to be back out walking the streets momentarily after he is pomp and circumstance. Just give him not even a perp walk, but he'll be back out, no problem at all, especially the globalist-funded Soros-backed DAs. So last night was a shit show over on Prime. I think we all expected a little bit of a down game because the Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas, not such a great team. They're not so great. And I had this nice Alex Jones impression. Thanks, broski. I've been working on it for many years. I had this revelation yesterday while I was watching the game when it comes to betting. And I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like this. I think it's because my brain is pre-programmed to think that over means winning and under means losing, right? So when I was looking at the spreads and the bets yesterday, I was like, you know me, I like to take that combo passing rushing yards, right? I like to look at that. And I was like, Bo Nix cannot get 149 or whatever it was, 144 rushing and passing yards. That seems awfully high. But I think he can get... Now, stop right there. Keep it simple, stupid. If you don't think he can get to the 250 or whatever it was, why do you have to go, but I think he can hit this? Why don't you just go, I don't think he can get it? Under. What the fuck, man? Why don't I do that shit? But we were 2 legs away from crushing a 9-leg and a 6-leg parlay. We were 2 legs. They were the same legs that I built a 9 and a 6-leg parlay around. 2 legs we were short. Bo Nix let me down on yardage, and Cortland Sutton let me down on yardage. But other than that, I hit on my Benito leg. I hit on the Broncos to win. I hit on Troy Franklin catches over. Troy Franklin to score a touchdown. Michael Mayer on his catches had the over on that as well. So we were close, but no cigar, and I had this revelation. If you don't think he can get it, just take the under. You stupid head. Golly, man. Oy vey. So NFL fans skewer Broncos Raiders game. The Broncos improved to 8-2. Well, the Denver Nick Benitos improved to 8-2. An NFL football game technically took place Thursday night featuring the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos won the game 10-7. I think the over-under was like 40-4. But it was as ugly as it gets. The two teams combined for 2 touchdowns, 3 turnovers, and 13 3-and-outs. 22 penalties for 161 yards. And if you're a guy that likes punters, holy shit, you had 14 of them. And you even had a couple blocks tossed in there. Offense was absent as Denver produced 220 yards total. And the Las Vegas Raiders had 188. Wow, what a... Oh, boy, the deal. Oh, Sean Payton. You and Pete Carroll are going to get a call from Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell doesn't like it when defense, they want points. Roger Goodell's going to threaten to keep your defense from playing. He's going to threaten to pull both of your team's defenses if you guys can't figure out how to let the offense put up more fucking points. Because the damn NFL likes points, goddammit. If the NFL doesn't get points, offense, we need offense. We don't like defense on TV. NFL took notice, and they were left mystified by both teams' performance in the matchup, as it was far from the bitter AFC West battle that everyone was expecting. Really, dude, was everybody expecting a battle between the Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas and the Bo Nix-led Denver Nick Bonitos? Oy vey. You see some tweets. Ew, man. Did I undersell how bad the Raiders were going to be? Thought this could be a sneaky... Oh, golly. Jeepers, fellas. Sneaky fun team this year, and it turns out they're horrendous. Yeah. And if you guys want to... if you want to get a nice little inside track on Oakland, on how Oakland fans are feeling, go check out Tub Frog over on YouTube here. Go check out Tub Frog, dude. That guy's suffering through. He's a lifelong Raiders fan. That poor kid. Oh, that poor bastard. As a Lions fan, though, dude, up until recently, brother, when I was your age, okay, well, way back when, I remember when the Lions didn't win a single game. I remember when Calvin Johnson didn't complete the process. I remember when. So I feel your pain, brother. And it might get better for you, but not with Geno Smith at quarterback. Oh, wow, did that look bad. You got weapons. Vegas, you got weapons. Brock Bowers is a very, very, I'm not going to say generational tight end, but I'm going to be hearing about that guy for the next 12 fucking years in the NFL, all right? Ashton Genty could be very lethal. He could be Jahmyr Gibbs-esque, maybe a little bit bigger as far as the physical frame is concerned. He seems to have a little bit more muscle on him. You have parts and pieces there, Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas. But Geno, yeah, not so much believing in Geno. You know what I'm saying? Not so much on the Geno. Still, the Broncos picked up the division win. Bo Nix was 16 of 28 for 150 passing yards. Wow. Save some offense for the rest of them. A touchdown and 2 interceptions. Woohoo! Oh, wow. Save some stats, brother. J.K. Dobbins had 18 carries for 77 yards, averaging 4.3 yards per carry. Troy Franklin had 5 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. There was a pass deep late. I think it was in the third quarter or in the second quarter. I can't exactly remember. But Bo Nix had Troy Franklin screaming on a post towards the end zone, kind of fading off towards the sideline. And for whatever reason, Bo Nix just double clutched and grossly underthrew Troy Franklin and missed an opportunity for a huge bomb of a play. It was just like, Bo Nix, dude, like, you played 100 years in college. I know it's college and it's not the pros. But, you know, even if you never leave the newbie area and you just keep killing, like pigs or whatever, like they did in South Park for 1 XP, and you just do it enough, you're going to get better, or at least you should get better. And you never left college for 175 fucking years, dude. You should be a lot better and farther in your development than where you are now, especially when you're combined with Sean Payton. And I was watching that offense. It's not the most complicated thing to execute. They've really simplified it for you out there in Denver. But old Ivan Drago Jr., Bo Nix, just can't quite seem to be figuring it out. And I was very underwhelmed. I wasn't even fucking whelmed. I wasn't even whelmed. I was underwhelmed by the 900-year-old Bo Nix just looking like hell. I'd take this busted ass version of Geno Smith over a happy feet Bo Nix right now, dude. The Raiders quarterback Geno was 16 of 26 for 143 passing yards and an interception. He was sacked 6 times. What is with this not vertical pass? Why do I keep seeing all these 18 of 25, 20 of 30 for 180 yards? Is it because every team is running a 2-shell high defense? Is that what's going on? Are we just not executing? What is the deal, yo? I understand that the NFL, because of the likes of Dan Campbell, is shifting more towards a physical run game style offense. But you can still throw the ball. There are still insanely talented wide receivers in the NFL, and personally, I believe that we are seeing a resurgence and an evolution of the tight end room across the NFL, going from, undersized fast tackles to oversized, slightly slower wide receivers. I dog Colston Loveland for being too fat to play wide receiver and too small to play tight end, but that is kind of the evolution of the tight end spot that we're going to. So there are all these weapons. There's also the NFL going, hey, scale, I'm going to put my thumb right on that so the defense is kneecapped at every fucking opportunity. We're going to desperately protect the quarterbacks. We're going to use the laundry leverage at every possible corner to make sure points, and yet here you are. 16 of 28 for 150 fucking yards. Are you fucking nuts? Check it out. Instead of, apparently, Johnny Mo screens has just poisoned the entire NFL. Hey, instead of throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage, here's a novel fucking idea. Turn your shoulders and throw the ball vertically down the field. I know. I know. It's fucking revolutionary. But just hang with me. The scribes speak of an era of football when both big hits were able to occur, the laundry leverage wasn't used nearly as much as it was, the season was shorter, and yet you still had guys regularly passing for 5,000 yards. Multiple seasons, multiple guys per season. And yet here we are now with the evolution of the athlete, the evolution of the laundry leverage, the devolution of defense, and of course the removal of all masculine traits from the NFL. And yet here we are. 2 quarterbacks, 2 first-round pick quarterbacks. Now, I know Geno Smith, after getting his face punched in at New York, never really had the career that he was expected to have. Still a first-round quarterback, just like you, Bo Nix. You spent 7,000 years in college. Dude, you played back in... You should understand... Bo Nix should understand the evolution of the vertical passing game. You fucking watched it happen with your little leather helmet back when you were playing wishbone offense in college, dude. You watch the evolution of the fucking game. You should understand vertical fucking passing games. It is not that complicated. And yet here we are. Here we are. 2 first-round quarterbacks. Over 50 attempts between the 2 of them. And less than 300 yards combined. What the fuck kind of primetime performance is that? Get this trash off of my TV. Look, Thursday Night Football, it sucks. Thursday Night Football sucks. I'm just going to say it. Thursday Night Football sucks. It sucks that it's on Prime. Al Michaels sucks. Kirk Herbstreit is great. I don't like hearing him call professional games. Kirk Herbstreit's voice is perfect for college football. I do not need to hear him calling professional games. He is college football. I don't need him calling professional games. Take Thursday Night Football off of Prime for starters, okay? Because it's kind of silly that you're going to continue to tax the NFL fan the way that you are, but the NFL is very, very greedy, and they're going to put their dirty little dick beaters on every dime they can possibly get their hands on, right? Take it off of Prime. I got it. You got it. Dude, you guys have got to get Al Michaels off the air. He's turning into Chris Collinsworth. He's just yammering on and on and on. Now, I understand yesterday's game. He kind of had to carry the fucking show. Him and Herbstreit ended up being the stars of Thursday Night Football because it was such a fucking bad game, which brings me to my next goddamn point. Prime time football should be Prime time viewing. I realize that I'm about to go full on millennial girl and hit you with the fucking bird hands over here because my knife hands are getting so goddamn dull from chopping over here. Prime time football needs to be prime time matchups. Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. You can dominate 3 nights and 4 fucking days. Sunday, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football. You can dominate the airways. You are the single largest media group with the most cultural influence, arguably, than any other conglomerate. You are the NFL, the sword and shield. It sells no matter what you put on it. You can market gouge, price gouge, all you want as the NFL. You're the only fucking show in town, and you have generations of devout fans who will follow your teams through 0-16 fucking seasons. And you reward us on a Thursday night. Prime time on prime. Thursday night football. 16 of 28 for 150 passing yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions, and 16 of 26 for 143 yards and an interception while being sacked 6 times. That's prime time. Defense wasn't that great. It was just bad football. If this was the early aughts and it was a defensive slugfest and Ray Lewis was out there just cracking skulls, nope. What did we get? Geno Smith got tackled around the ankle and then started limping around like Michael Scott after Pam Beasley slapped him in the fucking face. What the fuck? Generations of pussies on the field now have led to generationally terrible football. It's shit. Thursday night football is shit. Every game you watch, it don't matter. Don't look at Vegas. Vegas doesn't know what they're doing. Thursday night football is shit. Don't look at the numbers. It's always going to be a shitbox game with the weirdest scenario going on because Thursday night football is absolutely shit. It's dog water. They need to change it. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Primetime football, Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. One of you 3 needs Greg Olsen as your flagship commentator. You need Greg Olsen as your guy. You need to revamp it. Primetime football on prime time needs to be a primetime fucking product. Woo! Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to just totally ignore you guys all in the chat there. Morning, Derek. How you doing, brother? Have a good show. Can't stay on today. I will catch the stream later. Appreciate it, brother. Have a good Friday, dude. Don't work too hard. Take the work seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Major flag fest last night from the refs. Had to generate offense when going back. Hard to generate offense when going backwards. Jack, it was gross. It's Bill Vinovich. Bill Vinovich is a butthole. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Green Bay Packer, Notre Dame Yankees are his teams. Morton says communication is fine. Bern Campbell says it's not. So which is it? What's going on in Detroit? Steve, good point, dude. And I will say that whatever the boss says. So if Dan Campbell says it, then that's what we're going with. Dan Campbell's the boss, and if Dan Campbell says so, well, then that's going to be so. Here's a novel idea. Throw the ball. That made me laugh so hard. Thanks, Jody. Well, it's like fucking just throw it down the field. Don't. And the problem is Bo Nix is so goddamn old. He watched the evolution of the game. He should understand it. He was fucking there. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be screaming in your ears, guys. My bad. Al Michaels has been washed for years. Get him out of there already. Dude, it's just getting bad, guys. Al Michaels is, and I don't really have a problem with Al Michaels, okay? Personally, his voice triggers nostalgia for me from when I was a kid. But I'm not trying to make it political. It's like listening to Joe fucking Biden, dude. It's just, man, I tell you, Corn Pop was a bad dude, man. Throwing on a shot of the pressure, it's just, it's like, Jesus Christ. He went on some fucking talk about Al Michaels and John Madden. And I like John Madden, but John Madden knew when it was time to walk away. Al Michaels, come on now. And again, it's nothing against Kirk Herbstreit. It's that nostalgic voice. I feel like I'm, 15 years old playing NC Dub on my PlayStation again because I hear Herbstreit's voice. But his voice, his energy, the way he calls a game narrates itself so much better. It lends itself so much better to the blending of the magic of college football. It just feels off. It's like, yeah, you can put your left shoe on your right foot and you can walk around. It's going to suck major donkey balls, but you can. I wouldn't advise it, but here they are. Here they are with a right shoe on the left foot and a fucking left flip-flop on the right foot. You know what I'm saying? It's just go kick rocks with flip-flops. You know what I'm saying? Last night had the 2-6 Raiders versus who cares? Duncan, preach, dude, against that, and who cares? Thursday night, I don't give a shit, dude. I bet if I was a real investigative journalist here on YouTube and actually cared about really solidifying my arguments, I could get into the metrics and show you how viewership is probably down for Thursday Night Football, and how if a program like NBC or a production company like NBC wanted to strike hot, they would really push up their Thursday night lineup. They'd really try and emphasize and go toe-to-toe with Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime has just a moniker of elitism, because you have to pay to play. You got to pay to get in. You got to pay the troll toll if you want to play with Jeff Bezos's hole. But, NBC could come in, ABC, one of these should really try and ramp up and go blow to blow, because the product on Thursday Night Football is so bad. It's so bad. So and not for nothing, it continues to devolve. Thursday Night Football, I feel like as the season progresses, Thursday Night Football gets worse and worse and worse. All right, so yeah, real quick, Marshawn Kneeland killed himself, so that sucks. Not too much news about that. Just gonna I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, guys. So we're running a little late now. We're running a little behind, but luckily, check this out. You guys want to know something cool? It's my show, so I can skip all the stories that I want. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into Lions and Commanders. Boop the like button, turn that thumb into a spiraling football. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time we go live here on YouTube. YouTube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. Your top ASMR Detroit Lions content creation station. Sorry, my lip pillow's falling out. So Penei's back and Taylor Decker's back, guys, but not so good here. Not so good. I know some of you, Mr. Detroit City, not so wild about Jacob Sailors, but I'm a big Jacob Sailors fan. Not gonna lie, guys. I've been pretty hot and heavy about him since his days in the UFL, and I know he's just pretty much returning kicks, but I do think he offers a. So imagine if you were. This is how I view Jacob Sailors. Imagine you're on like a big ship, right? And say that it's November 7th, right? And you're on this big ship. And the ship is named the Gibbs Monty Fitzgerald, right? And you're sailing along and, well, let's just say hypothetically the gales of November come early, right? And, the weight of how important Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are to the Detroit Lions, it's kind of like they're a ship full of like 26,000 tons of taconite pellets. And say like the gales of November come early and something happens. Jacob Sailors is like having a lifeboat. Right. I would rather have at least the option of getting into a lifeboat and trying to salvage myself, as opposed to just being out in the middle of the water with like a fucking plunger as my flotation device. So I know Jacob Sailors isn't sexy, and we're not too wild about him. And also, if you guys notice, yes, I was making a shitload of Edmund Fitzgerald references right there, because Monday is the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. So yes, I if you paid attention, I was jamming in as many Edmund Fitzgerald references as I could, because it was more than just a boat. It was the fucking Edmund Fitzgerald. And 29 souls were lost November 10th, 1975. I'm a good Michigander. Gordon Lightfoot with a classic. Duncan, actually, very interesting thing about Gordon Lightfoot. So the Maritime Church in Detroit, and I think they also do it up at Whitefish Bay now. But they historically rang the church bells 29 times on November 10th for the 29 sailors that were lost on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I believe it was 2023, that Gordon Lightfoot passed away. And because of the cultural influence that he had with the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the song, his second highest performing song ever, topped the Canadian charts for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I think it got all the way up to number 2 on the Billboard charts here in 1976 in the States. Since his passing now, to honor him, they actually ring the bell, the church bells, 30 times, 29 for the sailors and 1 for Gordon Lightfoot. And I think that's pretty cool. Yes, yep, Jody. On Monday, November 10th, will be the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I don't know, we might... If I had like I'm not a turtleneck guy, so I don't have any turtlenecks, but I was thinking of getting like a little sailor's cap in a turtleneck, maybe chewing on a pipe the whole episode. But all that to say that all of that weird shit that analogy I just made, trying to talk about the Edmund Fitzgerald because I'm a weirdo, is to say that Jacob Sailors is out, and that sucks because I think he's a nice little lifeline in case something catastrophic were to happen to the running back room. Pat O'Connor didn't practice, and of course Kirby Joseph was out. Little concerned. At what point is Kirby Joseph just going to be shut down? What is going on with Kirby Joseph? Joseph continues to rest while dealing with a knee injury that is taking a bit longer to settle down than originally expected. You settle down, knee. Yeah. Have you guys tried putting his knee in timeout or possibly applying a dunce cap? That might expedite the process of his knee settling down. Maybe give his knee a little bit less sugar. Because the food that we're giving his knee is poison. Okay, so we need to stop poisoning his knee. We'll likely get an update on his status from Coach Campbell on Friday's press conference. Limited practice, Craig Reynolds, Penei Sewell upgraded from no practice on Wednesday. Taylor Decker upgraded from no practice on Wednesday. Dan Skipper, your friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper, upgraded from no practice on Wednesday. Miles Frazier still on the PUP list. Days remaining in evaluation is 19. Josh Buttsmell still on NFI. Days remaining in evaluation, 19. Malcolm Rodriguez still on the PUP list. Days remaining, 11. Grant Stewart with a foot, and that sucks. Reynolds has not gotten in 2 practices this week and looks to be on track to return to game action. With Sailors leaning towards missing the game, Reynolds' timing is beneficial. Sewell, Skipper, and Decker all returned to practice on Thursday after not participating on Wednesday. Sewell told the media on Wednesday that he is expecting to play, and Decker echoed the same sentiment on Thursday, suggesting that he's anticipating being in the starting lineup on Sunday as well. Full practice, Ty Summers, Terrion Arnold, and Daniel Thomas. Still on our IR, though. Days remaining in evaluation are 10. Arnold continues to stack full practices and looks on track to stay in the starting lineup for Sunday's matchup. And that is a good thing. You got to continue to stack good games on top of one another. Terrion Arnold had, by all metrics, a career game last week. Even though it was a loss, he got his first career INT in a very cinematic style. I mean, it talk about making the difficult shit look kind of easy. If that ball had wiggled at all, they would have said no interception. But Terrion Arnold, with hands like these, dude, why are you playing DB? Good Lord. Starters are bolded, did not practice. Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, limited practice. Colston Yank. Really? Colston Yankoff. Oh, I'm sure he's heard every joke about yanking off. Trey Amos and Quan Martin and Tyler Owens. Good for them. Don't care. Jeremy Tunsil was upgraded from no practice. Zerhan Newton upgraded from limited on Wednesday, and Eddie Goldman upgraded from limited on Wednesday. Bobby Wagner was a full practice with his thumb. So that's kind of where it stands. Not a lot of news there. It is a good thing, though, that Sewell should be good to go because early on in the week it was looking like he might not be ready to rock and roll. But old Penei. Just go ahead and fit him for his gold jacket already, would you? Do you mind just fitting him for his gold jacket already? Please be Russian. Duncan, you know what I'm saying? Like the name like that. You hope it's Russian because, oh, Yakov, you know what I'm saying? Attila the Hun, they died. Who died? What's up, Attila? Steve Morton and Campbell are not on speaking terms. No shit. Really? Kane Sisk? What happened to the Edmund Fitzgerald? Kane? What's up, Kane? How you doing, brother? Okay. So, the Edmund Fitzgerald was at the time the biggest freshwater freighter on the lakes, all right, on the Great Lakes. And in 1975, it was trying to make a late season run from Wisconsin down to Toledo with 26,000 tons of taconite, which is iron ore pellets wrapped in clay. And it came and got hit according to the song, it goes, the gales of November came early. There is the Witch of November, the Gales of November, the Three Sisters of Rogue Waves in Lake Superior. Lake Superior, the tribes people called it Lake Gitchigumi. The Big Lake has claimed a lot of wrecks, and they got caught in a storm, and it sank, taking all 29 people aboard down to the bottom. There has been a lot of investigations now into the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Personally, I am of the belief that there was improperly maintained on the hatch covers on the bow, right? Also in conjunction with a year or two prior to the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the U.S. Coast Guard changed its waterline limitation, dropping it an additional 3 feet. So the Fitz was able to carry even more than it was originally designed for. The Coast Guard deemed it safe and okay. The issue is with the hatch cover mechanisms on the Edmund Fitzgerald. They were notorious for having issues, mostly with not being able to retain weight on the vertical down press. So most common theories now are the U.S. Coast Guard kind of marred it with muddy waters and never really said exactly what happened, because there is the possibility that blame could be pushed onto the Coast Guard for allowing the water line to be lowered on the Edmund Fitzgerald, in conjunction with the theory is that it got hit by two and probably sunk on what's called the Three Sisters of Lake Superior, which are three increasing in size rogue waves, which crashed over the bow, smashed some of the hatch covers, I believe on covers 1 and 3 or 6 and 7, somewhere along there. And basically what had happened was all this water came crashing in to the Edmund Fitzgerald at such a rate. They were already taking on water, and the pumps couldn't keep up to it. You can see transmission records between the what was the ship that was following her? There was a ship that was like 17 miles behind her trying to keep connection because she lost radio communication with the Coast Guard. But they had already acknowledged that they were taking on water. They were trying to do everything that they could. But the theory now is that a massive series of rogue waves called the Three Sisters crashed over the bow of the Edmund Fitzgerald, collapsed the hatch covers in, and then she just took on so much water so fast that it basically just broke the ship in half and took it straight to the bottom. Those guys had no chance of survival. No chance of survival. And I think that they were something like 17 miles away from Whitefish Bay or something like that. Something really, really close. What's up, Lions Chat, or Lions Talk by Chat Sport? I'm so sorry, dude. Lions Talk by Chat Sports. How you doing, Mike Kimber? Good to see you, brother. If you guys haven't already, go subscribe to Micro Mike, dude. He is, well, he's fighting the good fight, you guys. He's out here one man on his own against the world, taking it to the likes of the evil empire with massive financial backers over there at WS. Our guy, got to get him up to that 1K subscribers, guys. Go subscribe to Lions Talk by Chat Sports. Mike is a good dude. In my opinion, the OG Lions content creator. And yeah, dude, you rebel scum. Appreciate all you do, bro. For real. Appreciate all you do. My great-grandfather worked on the Great Lakes as a boiler operator, so I was wondering if he made it sink. 50 years ago, he was already living in North Carolina. Gotcha. Well, Kane, he might have some insight because he would have been around. Oh, so when the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk, she was only 17 years old. So by all accounts, if you actually look at the way that the freshwater freighters are designed, if you actually maintain and upgrade them regularly, because of how freshwater doesn't destroy the ship's exterior the way that saltwater does, there's a little bit less environmental decay. If you were to properly maintain and upgrade systems accordingly, the freighters on the big lakes could theoretically operate forever under the ship of Theseus, I believe is under that theory, constantly replacing at what time does it no longer become the original ship. But due to the environmental nature of the freshwater, you can continuously keep these fuckers going forever and ever and ever. And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually a freighter on the lakes right now that is considered to be a sister ship of the Edmund Fitzgerald because it was built 1 year after her, and I believe she was built in the same shipyard, but also same style, same design, and everything. Now, there could be some speculation. If you're a superstitious guy, when they christened the Edmund Fitzgerald, it took them 3 smacks to break that bottle, and superstitious sailors will tell you that she was cursed from the jump. But just a little bit of just playing the song now. I'd love to, Jack, but I would get copyright struck like a motherfucker up in here. The pride of the American side, Duncan Stewart, brother. Yeah. Any good Michigander knows the song, y'all. And when I was a kid, we made a camping trip up to the UP once. I think we went to Whitefish Bay. I know we went to the Sioux Locks, but I can't remember if we went to Whitefish Bay or not. But yeah, it's a sad story, but it's part of, like, especially here in Michigan, it's part of our, like, lore, is the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald and the Big Fitz. And what was it, 1995 they recovered the Bell? I think it was 95 they recovered the 95 or 96. Why do I know this shit? I was 8. I would have been in fucking elementary school. Why the fuck? What the fuck is... I got a very unique form of the tism or something, guys, because what the fuck is wrong with me? I like boats. I like big boats. I don't like trains. I like boats. I like boats. I like big ships. That's a boat. That's a ship. Boat, ship. Boat, ship. Oy vey. There was a fire on a ship he was working on while everyone was trying to put it out. He said, F that, and evacuated. Dude, Kane, bro. There's a channel that I like to watch called Ocean Liner Designs, and he's got a few videos. Bro, fire at sea is, by all accounts, you guys, I can't speak to this because you ain't ever going to catch my monkey ass out in the fucking ocean. Do you see any gills? Do you see gills? Do you see any fucking flippers? Hell the fuck no, you don't. I got feet, dude. I'm bipedal as a motherfucker. I'm supposed to be on the ground. You ain't never gonna catch my monkey ass out in the fucking ocean on no goddamn boat, no big ass ship, none of that shit. No, fuck that nonsense. But from all accounts, fire at sea is like one of the most terrifying experiences humans can, because there's no escape. It's your damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, and it's whoo, buddy. Yeah, no, actually, fire at sea is part. Okay, I might be mistaken, but I believe that part of the construction and why the Titanic was so heavy was because of a ship fire at sea that happened a year or two prior to the construction of the Titanic. So they made it a point of having flame retardant materials, not a lot of like teak and wood. I think. It might be a different ship. Fucking gnat flying around. It might be a different ship that I'm thinking of, but there is a situation where one ship sank due to fire, and it led to the engineering of another ship having less wood material, which led to the overall weight of the vessel, which then I think contributed to some of the sinking. I think. Containers use trucks, then trains, then ships. Sharks can dive 5,000 feet and then back up to the swimmer. Have fun. Exactly, Duncan. Exactly. Kenny Powers, go Vikings. Well, appreciate you taking a stand, brother. It looks like you're a Minnesota fan. Is that the Timberwolves logo, bro? Right on, dude. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Hopefully you don't mind hanging out, dude. There, admittedly, we got people from other fandoms here, bro. You don't have to just be a Lions fan, dude. I do ask that you guys, be kind of polite, but I ask that of all of Mad Hatter Nation. Golly jeepers, y'all fellers do a real bang-up job of that one. So apparently today and yesterday, it's just become chatting beard at the end, guys. Sorry about that. He said, leave her be. She don't belong to me. Exactly, dude. Oh, is my name on that boat? Is my name on the company? No? All right. Deuces. I said that once at work, and management got super pissed at me because they were like, if there's a fire, you have to go to the fire panel. And I went, if there's a fire, I'm getting the fuck out of the building. My name's not on that motherfucker. You're nuts. And they did not like that. They did not like that very much. They didn't like it very much when I reiterated it during fire training with the city fire inspector there. And the city and fire inspector was like, yeah, no, if there's a fire, get out. And I go, you don't want to create more victims. And then he goes, you don't want to create more victims. Management fucking did not like that, bro. I was on a towboat that caught fire. Scary thought. It didn't happen to me until after we got the fire out. Chemical barges right next to the boat. We could have made a... Oh, dude. Jack. Bro. Whew. So, Jack, have you worked on the lakes, bro? And I don't mean like the lakes. Have you worked like in the... Is maritime the maritime industry? Would that be the proper terminology, bro? What's up, Detroit Sports Talk? How you doing, bro? Good to see you this morning, dude. It's Friday. Guys, it's Friday. We fucking made it. Come on, can we give ourselves a little one of these? A little one of these, right? A little one of these. We made it. We made it another week, you guys. The weekend's here. We're coming around that final slalom before we hit the weekend, guys. Holy jeepers, gee willikers, fellas. Give yourself a round of applause. Big pat on the back. We made it. We made it. Inland riverways. Okay. If you have not had your firefighter training, you need to evac people and call it. Dude, exactly, Duncan. Get out. Get the fuck out of the... the fuck, man? People are so stupid. Also, y'all remember this rule that nobody seems to remember? Here's a little life-saving tip. Hey, here's something that might save your life eventually that we all forgot. Stop, drop, and roll. Oh! Oh! Check the handle if it's hot. Oh! Get on your hands and knees and crawl. Oh! Look at me! Saving. I'm a fucking lifesaver, bro. Inland rivers, dude. So, Jack, is that like barges and stuff? When you say it, so when you say a towboat, when you say a towboat, I envision like a tugboat. Is that what we're talking? Like moving just like huge amounts of freight down river and shit? Because I'm gonna be honest, dude, river transit fucking blows my mind. It blows my mind how that shit's shallow, dude. That shit's shallow and it's narrow. And we're just like, yeah, I'm going to put a boat on it. And then I'm going to put boats in front of it. And I'm going to put all this shit on the boat. And I'm going to push it down that motherfucker. And humans are just like, bet. Help a person on fire to suffocate the flames. Tight, man. Get your advanced first aid tickets. Skate. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So here's another little tip of advice, everybody. Fire needs oxygen. So if you suffocate the son of a bitch, it ain't gonna burn. Large tugs pushing barges. Bro, that's fucking dope, dude. That's dope, Jack. Can I ask, dude, do you still work in that industry? Or are you like me where it's like, yeah, I did it for a little bit and then I decided it wasn't for me and I found something else, bro? Because I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think that's really fucking cool, bro. I think that's so fucking cool. I'd never do it. That shit freaks me out. I can swim. Okay, I can swim. Mostly, though, I swim like a stone. I swim like a stone so good, guys. If there was an Olympic event for swimming like a stone, I would be the Michael Phelps of that. Like, legit. Dude, that's crazy. Large tugs, pushing barges. That's so fucking cool, man. That's so cool, dude. Like, for real. Oh, man, that's wild. And I'm sure that, like, working in it isn't as cool as, it seems to me, but that's pretty cool, guys. Well, boys and girls, we managed to chat and beard it up today and totally bypass a couple of these articles. Let's be honest. It's filler. There's not a lot of news around this game. The Commanders are beaten down and broken. Jaden Daniels snapped his chicken wing in half the other night. Lions are looking to get right. They should get right. Hopefully our offense can put it together. Fresh air all day. Exactly, dude. You're out on the rivers and shit. Not out there now. Tore ligaments and elbow, so they pushed me out. Oh, damn, bro. Yeah. Yeah, dude. You got, like, I'm not saying you're, like, not physically fit, but you got to be, like, ready. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, like, Spider-Man all day long. Just ready. You know, just ready. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, this is a get-right game. Okay? Yeah, it's on the road. And, yeah, it might be kind of gross outside, but we have the weapons, right? Especially if Decker and Sewell are ready to go. We should be okay. Hopefully that Keoti Awashika can hold down the fort and maintain where he was playing, you know, when he comes in and plays. He's not a bad guard by any stretch of the imagination. He's a professional athlete. He's not Christian Mahogany, but it's a decent stopgap. I'm not upset about Keoti Awashika playing the guard spot. I do need Graham Glasgow to pull his head out of his ass and learn how to make protection calls. But the offense can achieve what the offense can achieve. The defense, I think what you guys are going to see the rest of the season is a mild shift in identity with the Detroit Lions. For the past several years, it has been bad defense, injuries, not a lot of players. Aaron Glenn, not that great of a defensive coordinator. But our offense was the ticket. You could hang our hat on the offense. Our offense boat race me, bitch. First one to 35 wins, and we dropped 35 in the first half. You know what I'm saying? But what we're seeing now is a little bit of, I think John Morton is a little in too big of britches. He's in a little bit too deep of water. But we have the guys that can throw him a lifeline and maybe help him keep his head above water. Do I think he's a long-term answer for the Detroit Lions? Right now, if the season ended right now, no, I would be moving on from John Morton. I personally don't like the offense. It's not that great. It's not as exciting. It's very vanilla, and John Morton has a tendency to fall back into bad habits, see the screen game that he coached in New York, and then see last week's performance against the Minnesota Vikings. I think what we're going to see, though, is a shift in identity where Detroit's going to go, hey, Dan Campbell's going to go, Kelv, Shep, dude, you guys got to carry us. It's got to be the defense because our defense at this point is a better unit all around. We have aggressiveness. We have decent cover corners. We have all-pro safeties when they're healthy, and we have a very good young linebacking core outside of Alex Anzalone. I'm not saying he's not good. He's just not young. He's not Action Jack Campbell or big game Derek Barnes. But I think what we're going to see is our defense is going to have to kind of carry things for a little bit, at least until the offense can stabilize, get the kinks worked out. That's what the bye week should have been for, was making sure that everything was ironed out pat and that we had everything locked and loaded, recalibrated, ready to go for the push to the Super Bowl. That clearly did not happen. If anything, we came out slightly less from where we were after the Tampa, Bay, Buccaneers Monday night game. This can be cleaned up. We have seen it already historically, just this season alone, week 1 to week 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, up until the Minnesota game. Unfortunately, both of those games were against divisional opponents, which hinder our home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and even that coveted first number 1 overall seed, looking like it's probably going to go Philadelphia's way. They had made moves at the trade deadline that would encourage people to believe that Philadelphia is ascending to being the cream of the crop in the NFC, though Detroit still is a contender, not a team to be slept on. This is the perfect game for us to get right. John Morton needs to get back to what had worked, stop doing old habits, but Detroit's defense needs to come out and make a statement game. Calvin Shepard, this is both a benefit and a negative for us, because the better of the season Calvin Shepard has this year with Detroit, which he should be on par for, is all the more reason why he won't be here next year and will probably be the head coach of the Louisiana State University Tigers. Again, you guys know my stance on that culturally. I think that is a huge benefit for Americans on the whole, though a negative thing for the Detroit Lions, because personally I really like the mentality, the man, the motivation of Calvin Shepard. The defense needs to carry the team for a little bit. Jared Goff, give him a cup of coffee or a nap before the game. He needs to rest up a little bit. My guy looks fucking exhausted. Jahmyr Gibbs, pick up your fucking blocks, dude. Pick up your fucking blocks, all right? Amon-Ra, keep doing what you're doing. Laporta, keep doing what you're doing. Offensive line, figure out the communication. J-Mo had a great game last week, quietly. Jamison Williams, that touchdown last week. I think is a perfect microcosm and encapsulation of exactly the evolution and maturity of Jameson Williams. He fought for that touchdown. He made a hell of a play for that touchdown, and I really appreciate it. I also like the interviews we've seen of him post-game. The maturity of the kid is good to see, and you understand now why the Lions didn't move on from him and re-signed him to keep him here for a long time. He's a huge, viable asset. Wide receiver room, keep doing what you're doing. Running backs. I need a little bit more out of you. Jahmyr Gibbs, pick up your blocks. David Montgomery, I know it's not you, but maybe try to persuade John Morton to let you run to the outside at least once. Quit running him right at the fucking defensive tackles. Defense, keep doing what you're doing. Aleem McNeil, really coming on. Tyleik Williams, way higher draft playing higher than his draft position. Aiden Hutchinson's going to do Aiden Hutchinson things. The X factor right now is two guys, Amik Robertson and Al-Qadim Muhammad. If those two guys play relatively well on defense, the entire squad will play well. If those two guys aren't producing and are letting things slip by them, it will be a long game for the Detroit Lions. Marcus Mariota is not a bad quarterback. He is not a great quarterback. He is a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback with mobility. Historically, that has been a negative for the Detroit Lions. Hopefully, Aiden Hutchinson, I'm looking for a couple of sacks out of him. I'm actually looking for like a 5-6 sack performance out of the Detroit Lions. Our defensive line versus their offensive line is multiple tiers better than what the Washington Commanders could ever field against our starting front four. I would like to see the Lions really come out and just take it to Washington, just belt to ass and take them to the woodshed. I'm actually kind of on board with Mr. Detroit City early on. I think it was yesterday. He said Washington's going to score 9 points. And 3 field goals actually does seem about right. They don't quite have the guns to punch. But, you know, as we learned last week, any given Sunday, it's the 6 inches in front of your face. And if you don't want it and the other guy wants it more, well, you're going to see how it is. And hopefully Detroit stops what they've been doing where they routinely play down to their talent. We're going to take one last walk through here. Mad Hatter Nation. Was he crying about Raymond's block? I don't know what you mean. Vikings Andrew Van Ginkel calls the league by dirty play by the Detroit Lions. Van Ginkel's a piece of shit, dude. Raymond can light him up all I care. All I care. MCD should take a deep dive into his bye-week philosophy. It needs to change. You're not wrong, Brent DeWitt. You're not wrong, brother. Andrew Van Ginkel calls out dirty players played by Lions. Andrew Van Ginkel's a butthole. He is a butthole. Why are the Queens talking about the Lions game still? Not like Vikings didn't do their share of garbage moves out there. I agree, and I do think that Andrew Van Ginkel's kind of dirty. It's nothing like personally against him. I've just watched him play. He likes to twist. He likes to helmet. He likes to get in some cheap shots where he can. He's just kind of a greasy little fucking asshole, you know. Mobile QBs have hurt the Lions. Hope that is slowly changing. Turnover's going to be key. The downside to turnovers, though, guys, is our turnover machine, our football magnet in the secondary, is still nursing a knee injury that just won't calm down. So hopefully we can get a dunce cap and some timeout on Kirby's knee so that he can come back and continue his Hall of Fame trajectory career where only Ed Reed has the same number of turnovers through the same number of games as Kirby Joseph's. Are you worried about Kirby Joseph's injury? I am because it's gone on longer than I think that it should. If we weren't going to put him on IR. It's starting to become a bit of a detriment to the 53-man roster. At a certain point, we're going to be getting a little thin, and we're going to need to be making some moves. I'd rather Kirby Joseph go on 4-week IR than to see us have to move on from a guy like an Arthur Mollett, who has played relatively well at times. What you going to do? Continue the hybrid Swiss Army knife of Rock Yassin and Eric Hallett. It's game 4 if he misses. I know, dude. I know. And that's the thing. Like, it's starting to become too much. You know, we're starting to get into the quarter of a season you're missing here now. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against Kirby Joseph. I'd rather him get right all the way than continue to push it and see what we had. You know, had we shut him down early, maybe we would have him back now for the rest of the season. But instead, we pushed it and it turned around to nip us in the bud and kind of fuck us right in the ass. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Guys, it is now 10 after 11. I appreciate all of you who hung out today. We got 100% of the vote, 17 votes. 1 like equals 1 thoughts and prayers for our friends in the Philippines. That's for you, Brent DeWitt. Brother, I hope your family is all doing well and everybody's safe. Batten down the hatches. Just do the best you can, bro. We're all not to sound weird or cheesy or nothing, we're all rooting for you here, brother. All right? We're all rooting for you to stay safe and get everybody home safe. Do everything you can, bro. You're in our thoughts and prayers over here, brother. You know, do the best that you can. Yeah, so that's going to be it today, guys. We talked about some things, some stuff, and then we went full chat and beard. Yeah, that happens. So we'll be back Sunday at our normal 11 a.m. to 12-ish. Hang out. Think of it as a digital tailgate and invite your friends. Maybe it's something that they don't like they're not going to like the Monday through Friday show because it's a little bit a little too much teeth. You know what I'm saying? But Sunday, I think Sunday's a little bit more lax, a little bit more chill. So feel free to come on by, stop by, hang out. Let me know some of your bets that we're looking at. We'll be building some Lions parlays and then placing some money on some underdogs or something. Just kind of skimming through the main slate of games. Make sure your notification bell is turned on. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Hit the like button on your way out the door. It should take that thumb and turn it into a spiral back to a fully colored thumb. Share this video around with all of your friends. Guys, it's Friday. We made it! We made it! Hallelujah. We made it. The weekend is upon us. So stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. We'll be off tomorrow, but I'll see you guys right back here Sunday for our digital tailgate. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until the next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.